everybody. This is Frekhtman, a New York City personal injury trial attorney, and today we're going through your comments, your questions, and answering them. It's a new series called Last Week Tonight, where we go through the last 7 days of comments. So let's get started. The first one is, congratulations on the recovery. That is awesome to see people getting good compensation for permanent injuries. And I think this was a comment to our video in 2021, celebrating the end of the year, where we closed out the year with, I think, 3.4 million, over 3.4 million of recoveries just in that last month. So somebody was saying, congratulations and thank you for that. And absolutely, it is very important for people to get justice and get proper compensation for serious injuries when those injuries are caused by the negligence of others. Now, the next one, how much would multiple herniated discs in the cervical and lumbar spine be worth if no surgery is performed? Now, if you've seen any of our past videos, it's kind of hard to say just based on that. But if you have the herniated disc, if the herniated disc is caused by the car crash or caused by the incident, like the trip and fall, whatever it is, the ceiling collapse, if it's caused by that, you don't necessarily have to have surgery. Just the fact that you have the herniated discs could be sufficient, and you could receive pretty high compensation. I mean, there have been some soft tissue cases that have even garnered $1 million or more. It's possible. I mean, we had one where it was just a herniated disc, no surgery. I believe he did have some pain management, like an epidural injection, and we got about $150,000 as a settlement. But it really runs the gamut. I would like to know, a little bit more about how it happened. So the person could feel free to text me if they want a consultation. I'd be happy to do one. But yeah, that's usually what it could be worth. It's hard to say because you also need to know the venue, like where, city and state, and a lot of different circumstances. So to give an overall answer like that is hard. Okay, and the next one was somebody who was in a car accident in an MTA accessorized vehicle, and their driver didn't stop. And it looks like he drove right into a car turning under the train. So it sounds like the MTA car is at fault, and they have videos, and it seems like they've been treating 3 times a week with 7 herniated discs in the neck. So this case, yeah, it sounds also like a good case, and they want to know just like a second opinion. So also feel free to text me. Maybe we'll set up a call. That sounds like a good case. If you have 7 different, herniated discs, as long as the doctor will say that it's from the crash, and obviously you weren't at fault because you were in a car, you're a passenger. It looks like this one happened in New York City. So that's right up my alley right here. So yeah, that sounds like a very good case. You should be successful with that. Okay, now this one says, do a video on how to win clergy sexual abuse cases, please. Okay, yeah, we could do that. We probably will do that. I am handling a few of those clergy cases. Usually what I do on those is I partner with a firm that only handles those cases, and we work on them together. But I could maybe do a video on them. And he's also asking to explain punitive damages, treble damages, and do an in-depth video covering all angles. So yeah, that's another good topic. I don't know if he means from the clergy or just in general, but definitely punitive damages is an interesting topic. Usually punitive damages are damages meant to punish. They're also known as exemplary damages. So basically, if someone does something so bad that they should be punished so the conduct doesn't happen again. So for example, in that famous case that people hear about, the McDonald's hot coffee case, it was actually revealed that McDonald's did a mathematical analysis and determined that it would be cheaper to just pay injury victims who get burned like money, as opposed to fixing all those huge boilers in all the restaurants, because those huge boilers were the culprits that were causing the coffee to be so hot that it was burning people when spilled. So because it was discovered at trial, like that was actual evidence, they had emails saying like, well, why should we fix the boilers? It's going to cost us this much when we could just pay out. Look at these claims. Statistically, these claims are like, 30,000 here and 40,000 there. It's going to cost way more, like 10 times more to fix these boilers. And they said, you can't do that. You can't say that's such corporate greed, right? That money and making money is better than, maiming people and burning people, and you're burning people knowingly and willfully. So that's something that they allowed for punitive damages. That's why that lady got the $3 million, and then the insurance industry took that case and they flipped it all around and they made fun of plaintiffs' lawyers, like, oh, plaintiffs' lawyers are so bad. But in reality, that $3 million was like one day's profits for McDonald's, just the amount of money that they make in one day. So it wasn't really much punishment for them. One day they lost 1 day's worth of profits, but then hopefully that made them stop doing that and actually serve normal products, normal coffee that's not going to burn people. So that's an example of punitive damages. It also happens in trucking cases sometimes when they know a driver is like really tired and they put them on the road anyway. Things like that. It's rare. In New York, it's hard to get punitive damages, but it could be applicable. But I'll do a video about that. I think that's a good topic. So I will do a video about that. And the next question, do broken foot auto injuries hold value in New York State? And I think, yeah, absolutely. In New York, we do have a serious injury requirement. There are 9 categories, but a fracture is one. So if you have a broken foot, you would qualify. And I think I commented back and they were talking about high end or low end. And then we said that a broken foot can be high value. And I believe the person had a metatarsal fracture with surgery. And they were asking if a metatarsal fracture with surgery can be worth, I believe it was 100,000 policy. And I think it can. I think that could be worth the full 100, or if not the full 100, then very close, maybe like 80, 75, 80. It depends again on like the liability, everything else. But if it's in New York, depending on the venue, yeah, definitely. I don't see any issue with that. A metatarsal are those bones, like you have them in your hand and foot. It's these bones right here that go right before the digits, right before the fingers. Metatarsals. So if you break a metatarsal, it's pretty much, it's like a broken part of the foot. But the fact that they needed surgery is pretty serious. It means it wasn't a simple fracture. Even a simple metatarsal, we've settled for like 35, 50,000, but with surgery, I think it's worth more. So that definitely the 100 could be tendered. You could take the whole 100. Okay, the next question is from Lori LVR. I'm at fault in a minor crash. Repairs may exceed my coverage, and they are claiming soft tissue injuries. My insurance will provide counsel, but advised I may want to get my own in addition to. I can't afford a lawyer. Options? What should I expect to happen? Well, I wouldn't really worry. I would just, if you had a minor crash, like a little fender bender, I would just give it to your insurance company. Let them hire a lawyer for you. If you have minimal coverage, I mean, if the lawyer sees on the other side who's suing, the plaintiff's lawyer sees that it's minimal coverage, they're probably just going to limit their recovery to the insurance. I mean, 99.999%. I haven't really seen lawyers go after people and try to take money from people, not from insurance companies. It's pretty rare. I mean, if the defendant is like, Elon Musk or something like that, they say, oh, this is a high net worth individual, maybe, but it doesn't sound like this is the case. So I wouldn't really worry about it. I mean, and if you hire your own lawyer, what would they really be able to do? Really, the insurance company is defending you already. You could hire your own lawyer in the event it goes to trial and there is exposure and the lawyer is looking to get money beyond the policy. And there's no chance that there's like bad faith where the insurance company would have to pay the money beyond the policy, but that you would be responsible for it. You could hire a lawyer for that purpose, but it would cost you probably a significant amount of money for a lawyer to be on trial for that purpose. And I don't really know what it would accomplish. But again, that's very, very, very rare. For the most part, people just limit to insurance. Okay, let's see. What's the next question? Okay, here's a question. It's, I was involved in a hit and run by a third-party Amazon driver, and I had a laminectomy and discectomy on my L4, L5. They took 100% fault for the accident, and I have been anxious to have an idea when I can receive. I think they mean what I can receive or how much. Yeah, so I mean, that's sorry to hear that. That's unfortunate that happened. But a laminectomy like that is a serious injury. I recall we had a case similar where a client had a laminectomy, and I believe we had a verdict of about 1.7 million. So the case could be worth, if it's in New York, even if he doesn't say where it is, which city, state, but it could be worth a significant amount for sure. Definitely into the 7 figures or high 6 figures easily, because a laminectomy is a serious injury. It's a life-changing, forever injury. and a discectomy also. That means the entire disc was removed, and then there was either an artificial disc put in, or it could have been, it doesn't sound like it was a percutaneous where they just suction out the leak from the disc, but this sounds like a full-blown discectomy and laminectomy. So it's a serious, definitely a serious high-value case. Okay, the next one is from Roxanne, and it says an 18-wheeler accident. They were 100% at fault. Got an MRI done and nerve tests ran. Suffered a herniated disc and still experienced numbing in my leg, and it's been over a year. So that probably means that she has what's known as radiculopathy, or the traveling pain from the lower back to the legs. Okay, did PT for a year, ended up getting an epidural shot, also had a sprained wrist, took a nerve test, came back, had a nerve damage in my right wrist, which is my dominant hand. Doctor recommended surgery on my back, but I couldn't do it at the moment due to family issues. Also got diagnosed with PTDS, probably she means PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety and depression due to the accident, on medication for that. What are some possible numbers I could be looking at? So again, we'd want to know what city and state, that's important, and a little bit more information. But the fact that it's an 18-wheeler probably means they have at least $1 million, probably more than $1 million in coverage. And if it's not your fault, if it's 100% their fault, obviously that's very good for you. And I think it could be worth, similar to what I said before, probably into the 7 figures, especially if you have the surgery. With the surgery, like a fusion or a laminectomy, discectomy, the values go up because that's a serious injury. But even without the surgery, it could be worth 6 figures or, very high numbers. Let's see. Then we have one from a comment on last week's video, and he says, very nice. What kind of settlements do you see in an injury for slip and fall due to a pothole? Injury is as follows: intramedullary nailing and humerus. Oh, that's pretty serious. Radial nerve dissection and exploratory surgery. Radial nerve palsy. That's very serious. Okay. Also 2 slip discs in my lower back. A gas station, shopping center, parking lot, insurance. So yeah, a gas station, parking center like that should have a large insurance. I mean, definitely $1 million, probably layers, like 5 million, 10 million. So you have enough insurance. Those are serious injuries. I mean, I'd have to look at the file to give you a more exact number, but I would say something like that should be multiple millions for sure. That could be, 2, 3, 4 million. It's hard to say exactly, but intramedullary nailing like that in the humerus, so the humerus is in the hand, and it'd be between the elbow and the shoulder. Then you have a radial nerve dissection, which is in the hand, the radial nerve, very, very serious. And the fact that there's palsy is not good. I mean, it's a permanent injury, plus the slip discs, depending on what's done for those herniated or slip discs, if there's going to be any pain management or surgery. That could be a big, big case, depending on the venue. I'd want to know where, again, city, state. Always put that in there because that'll help me give you a more clear answer. And I think that's a very, very serious case. Okay, the next question. Is it true that only 57% of car accident personal injury lawsuits that go to trial are ruled in favor of the plaintiff? I don't know where they got that. I'm not sure if they're talking about like every year, their statistics on, who wins these cases. I know, like, I did hear at one point that medical malpractice cases, maybe like 1 out of every 10 are won by the plaintiff, and most are won by the defendant, because it's hard to prove doctors, deviated from good and accepted practice, and a lot of defense verdicts for medical malpractice. But for regular cases like car accident cases, I don't know. I don't know, 57% could be. I don't know. I don't really keep track of statistics like that. But yeah, so that one I couldn't really, I'd have to research that. I'd have to, do a little research to get back to you on that. But I don't think so. I mean, like, car accidents, usually people who are suing, you would assume that people that are suing are, not at fault. So the liability wise, it should be higher. And then the amounts of whether the injury lawsuits are for the plaintiff or for the defendant is whether the injury is worth anything, right? Because a defense verdict means the injury is not worth anything, 0. So in New York, the only way you would get a defense verdict is if you couldn't prove serious injury, which is one of the requirements we have here. In other states, it might be different. Okay, here's another question. This is from Wen. It says, had a hot water heater break in my residence. My apartment was flooded with water. My ceiling collapsed on my head. I was knocked unconscious, slipped, and fell on my back. The doctor said I have a concussion, neck, and back injury. I had 2 MRIs, 4 months of physical therapy, 3 epidural injections, and a percutaneous discectomy. My case has been going on for 2 years. My apartment complex has $1 million policy. I'm in Los Angeles, California. How much is my case worth? Please keep the Q&A going. Thank you. So, I mean, yeah, again, like that's very serious. The fact that you had the concussion, the back injury, a concussion could be a mild traumatic brain injury. I don't know if you had a workup for that, but the fact that you had MRIs, physical therapy, 3 epidurals, a percutaneous discectomy, I would say it could be worth anywhere from $300,000-$400,000 up to $1 million or more. It really depends on the way it's worked up. And I do know some California lawyers that are excellent if you needed a consultation or a second opinion. But if you're happy with your lawyer, that's great too. Let them get you as much as possible. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth a substantial amount. Okay, the next one is Blake Woodcrest, and he says, hey folks, you can't expect the attorney to quote your potential awards when she doesn't know nearly the amount of details of the case. Okay, yeah, he's right. That's kind of like what we've been talking about earlier in this video. Yeah, you can't really, I don't want to give false information. So, it's all kind of like an approximation unless I know more, unless I can really delve into your case. Because there's so many things, right, that could happen. You might have a serious injury, but then there might be a real problem with liability. Or you might have liability and have a serious injury, but then the defendants might have something on you, like they might have surveillance, right? That you've testified that you can't go to the store, but then they have video of you going to the store carrying heavy bags. That could kill your case right there. Or the fact that you say, perhaps you had an injury before and they have proof of that. And then you say, I have an L5-S1 herniation, but wait a minute, you had an L5-S1 herniation 3 years ago in another crash and you were already compensated for it. And now this crash didn't really change anything. It didn't aggravate, it didn't exacerbate, it didn't change anything. So you can't double dip and get compensated again unless you can prove that this crash changed it, you see? So then all those little things are pitfalls that could destroy a case. That's why I can't really tell you exactly how much you're gonna get just from one sentence comment. Okay, the next one is from Leonardo Cuevas, and he says, great video. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Leonardo. That's awesome. Keep watching. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Drop us comments, interact with us. Let us know what you want to hear so we could do more of these videos and answer your questions. And the next one is from Circumnavigate, and he says, this guy is awesome. Oh, I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Circumnavigate. Awesome. Thank you so much. And then we have a question from I Will Be Fine. I was hit by a FedEx truck driver on a 2-lane road with a median, and I was headed west, and the FedEx truck driver was pulling out of a dead-end road and hit me mid-center of my minivan, which hurt my neck, lower back, and my right shoulder. What should I do? So, yeah, this sounds like, the fact that the FedEx truck driver was at fault. The FedEx has, a lot of insurance, so you probably have plenty of coverage there. If it just happened, I would recommend getting medical care, of course. That's the first thing you should do. If it, if it just happened and you're at the scene or something like that, take photos, but go get medical care, go to the doctor, the hospital, or urgent care, get checked out. And then I would contact a local lawyer. If you reach out to me, I'd be happy to put you in touch with a local attorney that's good in that particular jurisdiction. Okay, I think that's the final question. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching again, and drop your comments, drop your questions so we could do more of these. Maybe the next one I'll try to do a live, and then we can answer questions live and people can jump on and comment or ask questions right as we're going. Okay, talk to you soon. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy, and we are here for you. Okay, bye-bye.